He's not coming. I knew it. Sorry I'm late, guys. Hey. Sorry, guys, yeah.
About time.
How's things going? What happened to your eye?
Well, I'm trying to follow in your footsteps a little bit.
That's very nice. That's very nice. Sorry, I was at the bar, I had a few drinks. We're gonna get you one when you get out of here. It's the first thing we're gonna do.
We'd start our story off with Johnny telling Miguel's mom that he has to go sadly and he promised he'll be back whenever they are allowed to visit him. She would try to tell Johnny to stay, but Johnny turns and leaves him, now going to visit Robbie in this timeline. Just when Robbie thinks Johnny isn't going to show up, Johnny arrives and he would question what's been going on at JUVIE. Robbie would say he's trying his best to avoid getting into fights, and Johnny would say he shouldn't try to get into fights after all that's happened. And then that's when the topic is brought up, the school fight. I think this is a perfect time for Johnny to hear Robbie's side of the story and realize that Robbie feels really bad about what has happened. All he was doing was defending himself, and he just simply let his anger take him too far. Johnny would reach out to Robbie since in Karate Kid 1, Johnny literally was willing to do anything in order to defeat Daniel back in the All Valley, which is pretty much the same scenario Robbie was in, which allows Robbie to at least understand that it's okay to try and move on, and he can definitely bounce back from this. He also adds in the fact that LaRusso is a loser for snitching, but that doesn't matter anymore. Their time would be up, and the scene ends with Johnny saying he'll be here when he gets out, and this leads into Robbie and Johnny actually ending on a good note before he gets released. Johnny never goes and visits him whenever he's, serving food or whatever, which means that little blow up never happens, and also right before he leaves the room, he says it's okay to defend himself, but find that gray spot between fighting and playing dirty. And this is sort of Johnny helping Robbie learn that Cobra Kai style, and when Sean next time tries to bully Robbie, he would go on to fight him like in canon and get that respect how he did. And as for Johnny, he'd go back in the hospital to help train Miguel, and really up until episode 7, the rest of the season sort of plays out the same. However, when Robbie gets out, he doesn't leave Johnny and Daniel, but rather just leaves solely Daniel. He would reveal that he's going to be staying with Johnny, and Johnny would say for LaRusso to mind his business once again before taking Robbie to the car. And when Robbie and Johnny arrive back at Johnny's place, he sees Miguel, who was waiting for Johnny, and the tension rises. I think the first thing that would happen is Robbie apologizing for taking it too far, as he's been spending time thinking about what Johnny said. Miguel, hearing this, would proceed to apologize for what had happened at the party, and he says that they may have had their differences before, but now it looks like Johnny needs them both to take down Cobra Kai. Robbie would put his hand out for Miguel to shake, and Miguel would proceed to shake it before then preparing to train for Eagle Fang. I know you guys might be thinking that it's unlikely for Robbie to team up with Miguel, but remember, he's not getting with Sam just yet, and Robbie isn't being manipulated by Kreese, so this allows Johnny to actually reach out to him and make the impossible possible. Johnny's essentially two sons are now working together, and Robbie would also be there when Johnny fights for the All Valley, seeing Sam again along with trying to help Miguel fight for the All Valley again. The fact that the two kids who caused the biggest scene in the school are now wanting the All Valley to continue tells the council that maybe they should allow it. And here, Robbie and Sam can finally sit down and talk to each other, with Sam getting the opportunity to apologize, and this time Sam and Robbie getting back together. This is definitely the safest option, as Miguel and Sam haven't had the chance to get back together just yet, so now Robbie has a chance, and it works out perfectly as Sam and Robbie, as now Robbie doesn't have to just turn to Kreese, while Miguel can currently focus on getting back in better shape, and it's not like Miguel and Sam were that good of a couple anyway. Who said that? Now with Robbie not in Cobra Kai, this means Hawk would remain in that next person up position for Cobra Kai, which means he actually doesn't have that full push to have him return to the light side. We would still have the house fight happening, and he hesitates to go and break Dimitri's arm, but by the time he thinks of trying to rush at him, Robbie intervenes and hits Hawk with a two-legged Miyagi-Do kick. Yeah, Robbie would just slump this man with ease, and Hawk is knocked down, and Dimitri is saved by Robbie. Miguel deals with Kyler, while Sam and Tori would continue to duke it out, before Miguel and Robbie stop the two, forcing Tori to retreat. Kreese still fights Daniel and Johnny, but the biggest difference here is that Kreese actually might be dead, due to Robbie not being there to stop him from using a weapon on Kreese. However, I feel like that ending is just a little scuff, so we are just going to be continuing on and say that Johnny doesn't kill him in the end. And like in canon, Kreese would say to settle this in the All Valley, and we would move into season 4. Firstly, Terry Silver and him coming into play still is the same, but with two differences. One, Robbie is not there and instead Hawk is, and two, Kenny Payne would instead be trying to look into Eagle Fang Karate, which is where Robbie trains. As for the Miyagi Fang side of things, Robbie and Sam being together means Robbie and Daniel might have a chance to actually sort of settle their beef. Daniel doesn't have to try and take Miguel under his wing all that much, since Eagle Fang would learn Miyagi-Do thanks to Robbie helping teach them, while Sam would be the main one applying that Eagle Fang training to use. I think instead of Robbie being confronted by Sam, we have Miguel and Tori getting into an encounter, and honestly, I could see Miguel and Tori speaking about everything as Tori believes Miguel is hers, and it wasn't until he kept on insisting on hanging out with Sam, and that's when she snapped. But that doesn't happen here. Miguel and Tori have a chance to at least try and start over. However, when she hears that she has to leave Cobra Kai because it's wrong apparently, that's when she believes what Miguel really wants is for her to just give up and to give them an easier chance to win, but that's not happening. She tells Miguel to leave, and before Miguel listens to her and walks away, she says that she's going to make sure she wins the All Valley. Miguel turns around and says, "We'll see about that." Time passes after this scene, and we have Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang training, and like I said, Kenny goes to Robbie and tries to join Eagle Fang, and this allows Robbie to still tutor Kenny. Robbie would begin to train Kenny in the arts of Miyagi-Do and Eagle Fang, with Johnny also stepping in trying to reach the kid's heart after hearing about how he's just getting bullied and got milk literally in his locker. Johnny would say if he's going to deal with this, he needs to first stop being a crybaby, and Johnny can tell Kenny he needs to be toughened up, and this forces Kenny to use his speed to his advantage and manage to land a blow on Johnny during training. At that point, Johnny would then proceed to sweep him off his feet before then saying not bad. Robbie and Daniel would be training together, which would be pissing off Johnny, in contrast to in canon where it was Miguel and Daniel training and that pissed off Johnny. But while that's going on, Sam, Robbie, and Miguel mainly are being pushed to their limits with Eagle Fang's training along with another individual, and his name is Dimitri. The reason for that being because he realized his best friend has completely turned against him, and in order to take down this asshole, he needs to fight like one. And yeah, Robbie and Daniel do become cool, but as of now, he's mainly sticking with Johnny as he's finally decided to step into his life for real. Now, let's talk about what's happening with Cobra Kai. Currently, all that treatment towards Robbie is now gone to Hawk, and of course, like in Season 3, he's showing signs of confliction, and it goes as far as Hawk trying to bully Dimitri, but Moon getting in the way and slapping him directly in the face. This essentially is the wake-up call Hawk needs, because I don't see him still keeping up this act, especially after so many signs of conflict. Besides, I think Miyagi Fang never throws the sprinkler since Robbie and Kenny are at Eagle Fang, and never get confronted by Hawk since Kenny isn't going around with popcorn. And now, with all that out the way, we can finally talk about the All Valley tournament. The first rounds are basically the same, but Eagle Fang is in first place rather than not even being in the top 3, and Dimitri finally takes on Kyler rather than Eli, and he completely mops the floor with his bully. However, he is forced to take on Miguel next round unfortunately, which backfires, and Miguel would proceed on the finals, while Robbie would have to deal with his quarterfinal matchup against Hawk. Also, if you guys were curious about Kenny's match, he goes up against Hawk in the first round and does manage to score a point, but then Hawk gets serious and proceeds to 3-1 him. Now, this fight has already happened canonically, but now this Hawk is arguably way weaker and has no Miyagi-Do defense, while Robbie is even stronger. I think the score would be 2-2, but Robbie would manage to land the one and only tornado kick, which would give him the match. Hawk is KO'd, and once again, Robbie and Miguel would fight in the finals. Whoever wins here becomes the All Valley champ, but regardless, Eagle Fang is taking the champion title. These two, like Eli versus Miguel, seem even at first, and both are literally replicating each other's moves. Miguel and Robbie both throw the tornado kick, and that's when Miguel pulls his muscle and has to back out. The difference here is that Miguel has his confidence here, so I don't think he is going to be quitting the match. However, Miguel has his confidence here, so I don't think he's going to be quitting the match. However, I don't think that really matters, as Robbie just isn't being held back by anything, and Miguel's injury gives Robbie the edge. And so he would score the final point, and Robbie Keane of Eagle Fang wins the tournament, and like in canon, Sam fumbles against Tori due to Tori cheating. And it's weird to say what happens next, as I don't think Miguel goes to see his dad, since that big moment never happens with Johnny and Miguel, but I do see Chosen still coming in. Perhaps Hawk joins the good guys next season, it's hard to say, but for now, this is where we will end the story. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.